What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a garden video and show you what's all growing. We were pretty late this year on planting our garden, so we're kind of worried about it, but after been a little while, we're not worried no more.
Yeah, we'll show you why. So I can't wait for the plants to be coming up these arches, and as you can see, just about every cucumber seed I planted popped up. We planted Parisian pickling cucumbers here, and then the Armenian yardlawn, and then I also planted some red Malabar spinach, and I was a little worried, but it's just starting to come up. Our daughter's bean plant has beans on it. This is one she started in school and brought home, so I told her she needs to pick these pretty soon. We'll see if she does.
We have a bunch of cabbage growing over here that's been going great, other than the fact that the chickens want a salad bar. They've been reaching their head through the fence and pulling off a bunch of pieces of it. So I'm gonna have to put up some chicken wire along the bottom so they quit doing that, which is fine. We have some, just have to find the time to do it. Also, we have green beans over here growing and they're doing really well. We have one issue with that also, is we started watering it the other day, and when you start up the hose, we have 250 feet of hose. And you start it up and it's hot right away, and then it cools down, and as you're watering, what in the world? As you're watering, it'll get warmer, and then that's when we burnt the leaves on these. You can't be up here, honey. I don't think her wings were clipped. Sunflowers. You're almost shoulder high already. These two anyways. These two we didn't plant. They are from last year. All these other ones that are knee high were the ones we planted. So these are volunteers and they're coming in great. So we're just gonna leave them go, obviously. And we got also some more tomato plants, and we got voluntary dill over here again. We're gonna let that go this year.
Broccoli plants, they seem to be really packed in here, but they're doing well. But there's something else we really wanted to show you. I don't think we shared with you yet, but we've had our chickens over here because all winter we were feeding squash to the pigs, and we have so much volunteer squash coming up. It's outrageous. Our family isn't huge squash fans, but we know our animals love squash. So if nothing else, we're gonna have a huge squash patch back here where we're gonna be able to save that for the animals. So that's super exciting.
These are all the pepper plants that I got. I planted some of them. Leroy had planted some of them. And then we also have the ones that we grew. But the ones we grew just they're not growing. It's like they're just stunted. I don't know what we did. The only thing we can think of is the soil we use. So we're gonna use a different soil for next year, and hopefully that was all. But we have the peppers that I bought are coming up and they're doing well. It was the same thing with the hose burning on a couple of these pepper plants on the end. So we might lose those, and that's okay. It happens, and that's how you learn for next time.
So our tomatoes, I think all of them are doing really well. We have those ones we bought from a family member doing outrageously well. We even have tomatoes on some of them. We've got blossoms on a lot of the volunteers we planted and the ones we got from the store. And then the ones we grew ourselves, some of the same issues as the peppers, but some of them are really taking off. So basically we have more tomatoes than we'll know what to do with, but don't worry, we'll do our best to do something with them. So our zucchini plants, we kind of did two little hills, planted a few, and it looks like we've got maybe like 4 plants here and 3 plants here. So zucchini are coming up. We will have zucchini this year. Last year, you know, they say zucchini always comes, but last year ours didn't. So this is awesome. All right, so the kids told me that I had to check the back of the garden because our wild black raspberries are coming in. And this is an area where they always come in first. I don't know what that is. The sun, the shade, the rain, I don't know. But we've got our first wild black raspberries of the year.
Mosquitoes are still terrible.
There's a lot going on down here. We've got some random tomatoes, we've got some garlic, and we've got our celery. Now some of the celery that came up from last year looks pretty good, but it is pretty thick, pretty hard. But then some of the other celery from last year, it flowered. And at this point I really haven't done anything with it. Maybe it'll self-seed and we'll have more celery here next year. But it's past the point of being able to use. It is far too hard and too bitter.
So the garlic has come up really well. Came in here the other day, took a bunch of scapes off, made a bunch of pickled eggs. We still have a bunch of scapes, which we're gonna dehydrate and make into garlic powder. So that's been going great. We love having the garlic. All this dill you see in the front was all volunteer, and Sarah transplanted all of it. So it's all doing well. And they're transplanted, they're like some of them that tall. Right, Sarah? There's some bigger. And she put them all right here, and they all came back really well. So if you ever want to transplant some of your seeds that start, or volunteers, it worked for the dill. The strawberry bed has been a great hit this year. The kids have been eating out of it every single morning, and they're just loving it. Sarah and I haven't got any strawberries yet, but the kids love it.
So the kids have told us that the raspberries are just starting to turn, and I hadn't noticed any. But if you look really close, there's some in here. So it looks like we're getting our first raspberries of the season too. This little honeybee on Matt's hyssop here he planted. So the bees are loving that, and it's nice to have these bright colors at our garden too. Hopefully it brings more honeybees to the garden. Our onions are coming up here. They aren't too big yet, not really a ton going on with them. Some are doing better than others. We do have our second year onions that we're saving for seed down on the end. Those are doing well too. And then we've got our other onion beds. So we'll show you that.
So this is where I planted the broccoli, and someone didn't want me to, but I did it anyways. It's coming up good. And I also planted the leeks with Sarah in here, and the onions. This bed needs to be weeded, but they're all taking off and doing well. And I gotta check on our bucket of fertilizer and get that going with this bed. So everything in here has been taking off since I did that water video and put all that stuff in, and I ordered another set, and I have that to do that onion bed with. But all this has just been cranking out, just doing really well. I would love to raise this a little more so it can get a little bit more sunlight and have it more on the top so it keeps the heat out. But everything is looking really good in here, and I think a little bit more sunlight would make everything pop even better. What we have in here is this side right here is spinach. This bed is all carrots, and then the rest of this is all onions, except for way at the end it looks like we have
Couple turnips.
Turnips.
There's a little bit of kale right there.
Yeah, is that what that is?
Yeah. So I have a few pots in here with random herbs from last year that came up in them, and some out here. And for herbs, that's all I've done this year. I really intended to plant more seeds and get more things going, and I haven't. So I'm hoping that I'm not too late to get some of those herbs going. Obviously, you saw the dill's doing great on its own. Didn't need me, but it'd be nice to have some basil and some cilantro.
So I hope you enjoyed our little garden tour, and I hope your guys' garden's doing well, and
regardless of when you planted.
Yeah, I hope you're getting rain. We finally got rain, so it's been nice. We haven't been watering it as much now, but it's been hot. So on that note, glad you got to see us again.
Bye.
Bye.